friends, back to the laboratory. It's Chef Mark, and I'm here today with a request video. A friend of mine asked me how to cut and butcher those gigantic chicken breasts into sensible portions. That's a good question. So, got some gigantic chicken here. And mise en place would include my chicken cutting board, the boning knife, sharpening steel, and then optional, if touching raw chicken grosses you out, some rubber gloves, a cut glove if you feel you need that, and then finally also optional, my meat mallet and some plastic wrap in case you want to pound this nice and thin for cutlets. Let's get started. Okay, I've got a couple chicken breasts here. This is a big boy. What to look for here. So there's two sides. The smooth side, one side the skin, this is called the presentation side. This is the side that's kind of been cut through. This was once against the breastbone. So this would be the back side, not presentation side, bone side, whatever you want to call it. But all chicken breasts, regardless of what size they are, will have a couple of things. They all have a head and a lobe, so the thicker side's the head, the thinner side's the lobe. It's important to work consistently, so I like to start with the skin side or presentation side up every time, okay? Got a nice sharp boning knife here. I really feel like this is the right tool for the job. And I'm gonna first start by cutting off some of this feathery fat. And this feathery fat, there's a piece of tendon right here too that I'm gonna cut off, so like some connective tissue. Don't be shy when you're trimming this. You wanna get all of that fat, this kind of loose silver skin can come off as well. A little bloodline right there. So I'm gonna try to cut that out. That's kind of unusual, so why not get rid of that bloodline? And then flip it over. Okay, you have some connective tissue here. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that. There once was a chicken tenderloin. They removed those and sell them in a separate package these days. And all are gonna have this little bit here. This is where the wing bone was once attached. So I like to cut that out. We'll show you again here. You can also start on the back side. A lot of people will use kitchen shears, poultry shears. I don't think that does the trick. The thing with kitchen shears, you're kind of tearing the meat, so when you go to cook it, you're really losing a lot of moisture and consistency with the kitchen shear. So get comfortable with a nice sharp boning knife. You don't have to spend a lot. This isn't a Ciro brand. And you know what? I got this for 20 bucks at my local restaurant supply store. And I've been using it for years and it really does a nice job. It's slightly flexible as well in case you need to kind of dig in there and kind of get underneath stuff. Okay, so here we go. I've got two chicken breasts, and one of the problems is they're two different sizes. So they're not gonna cook evenly. If I were to put those both on the grill or both in the saute pan at the same time, the problem I'm gonna have is this is gonna cook faster than that. So what I'm looking for is consistent and reasonable portions. So how do I do that with a piece of chicken this big? Well, I'll show you. I'm gonna start at the tail side. So lobe, which is fatter, tail. What I like to do is make a cut at an angle, and that's gonna be my first piece of chicken right there. Okay. And that piece is gonna be my guideline for all the other pieces of chicken. I find if I cut my chicken about that size, most people will eat about 2 pieces of chicken of that size, and I would guess this is about 3 ounces. That's 6 ounces of chicken. That's a decent portion. And then this guy, I'm actually gonna cut in half lengthwise. So like a fillet cut. Okay. And that's actually a little bit on the thin side. So to make this one match, I'm gonna do a little bit additional cleaning on the back side of this. And I like to use the back side so that I can kind of maintain one side that looks nice and smooth. So there we go. We have 3 pieces of chicken that are relatively same size now. These are close enough in shape and size that they will cook even. Okay, now this guy, a little different here. I could come through and make that first cut, but this is consistent enough end to end. You can make a cut just across, okay? And those two are even as well. So if I was making dinner for 2 people, that would be perfect. If I was making dinner for 5 or 6, I would need more of these. Then, what you're looking for here, and this is really traditional to have that skin side. So this is a little bit outside of the box thinking, but you kind of have to think outside of the box when you're presented with pieces of protein of this size. But what if you wanted to be a little bit more traditional? Well, here's a piece of chicken that I can show you the traditional way to work with this. Again, just take off the fat on both sides and flip her over. Okay, that looks good. I have a little bit of, it's just feathery. I don't love the consistency there. I have a little bloodline right there. All right, and then I'm just gonna shave this down ever so slightly. And if you're worried about wasting this stuff, you can go through and take every little bit of this chicken, chop it up into really, really fine pieces, and then you can make chicken lettuce wraps. You know, some soy sauce, some sriracha sauce, put in a lettuce wrap, saute the whole thing together. It's just delicious. So that's a really nice thing you can do with the little bits and pieces. I have enough here that's probably what I'll do for myself for lunch. Okay, I wanted to show you the more traditional way. So what I'm gonna do is set up a pounding station. I have a meat mallet. Let me show you the next step. Okay, fresh hands, let's give this a go. I'm gonna use plastic wrap to help pound my chicken. And when you're using commercial plastic wrap, work off the box. That's a lot easier than trying to carry a piece around the kitchen. So I've got the chicken in between two pieces of plastic wrap. That does a couple of things. It protects the surface. It keeps the chicken juice from splattering all over your kitchen, which of course would create cross-contamination, and gives us a nice surface to pound against. So I'm gonna smooth this out. This is gonna get noisy. I'm gonna start with the most aggressive side of my meat mallet. Here we go. Okay, fantastic. Now we're not tenderizing. Chicken is tender enough without having to pound it. What we're doing is we're shaping. And what I wanted to do is maintain the look of a chicken breast. So I'm not just pounding randomly, I'm just trying to be very even. I'm gonna go to the next side and I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle. Here we go. And finally, I'm gonna end with the smooth side, and this is gonna allow me to steer. I can come across at some glancing blows to help maintain that shape. I'll show you what that looks like. Fantastic. Let me show you my finished product here. So, that's more of a traditional look and shape when you're pounding chicken. I have the skin side, the presentation side facing me. That's what will go down in the pan first to give you a nice golden brown look. And this will cook extremely evenly. You can see that the tail and the lobe are all the same thickness. So there you go. It gives you a couple of different ways to work with chicken. We've got the sensible portions from a giant chicken breast. We have an easy way to make thin chicken that'll cook evenly in any cooking method, whether you're sauteing or grilling. And finally, we have the good old-fashioned traditional meat mallet between plastic wrap. This is what you might typically see in a restaurant. Gives us the most consistent look for portioning and looks great on a plate as well. This is Chef Mark. I want you to make sure, before you go, you click that subscribe button. Click a thumbs up. Let us know we're doing a great job by subscribing. Thanks for tuning in.